everybody, I'm Sandy, registered dietitian with Flik Hospitality Group. Welcome to my kitchen and welcome to our virtual cookie swap, which super excited for this. Happy holidays, by the way. And today I have Floor's Ginger Cookies, which super excited about because one, huge fan of spice cookies, especially anything that requires molasses. And these are super easy. They're a cutout cookie. Don't be afraid, don't shut off the video at this point. Cutout cookies are simple. They can be simple or they can be intricate. This dough is phenomenal and I'm gonna show you how easy it is so you'll never have to be afraid of cutout cookies. So let's get started. I have in my mixer, if you don't have a mixer, you can do this in a bowl by hand as well. I just was taking the easy way out today. In my mixer, I have creamed 3/4 of a cup of salted butter. It's room temperature. To this, I'm going to add 1 cup of dark brown sugar. Again, dark brown sugar has extra molasses in it, and that's what we're going for here. I have 3/4 of a cup of molasses. I sprayed, little kitchen tip here, I sprayed the actual measuring cup with a little bit of oil to prevent it from completely sticking to the sides there. Just a little trick that you can play with. 3/4 of a cup in there. And now we're going to cream this. Okay, as you're creaming, just a little tip, you want to make sure you're scraping down the sides at least once so the butter and the sugar and all of that gets mixed in. So I'm using a spatula here, just going to scrape down the sides. And then I'm going to turn it back on just to cream it a little bit more. You're looking for about a minute to cream it. It'll become light and fluffy in texture. And then I'm going to turn it back on just to cream it a little bit more. You're looking for about a minute to cream it. It'll become light and fluffy in texture. Okay, now that my sugars and my butter have creamed, I'm going to add in my vanilla extract. You're going to add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I'm just eyeballing it because I love vanilla and, you know, I'm okay with having a little extra in there. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I'm also going to add my egg into this mixture. It is 1 whole egg. And then I'm going to blend it again. You don't have to cream this, you don't have to whip it, you're just literally mixing it until it's blended. Okay, so this is all blended together. Now I'm gonna get my dry ingredients ready. So I have 4 cups of all-purpose flour. To that, I'm adding 1 teaspoon of my pumpkin pie spice. Again, you can make, if you don't have this, you can easily make it at home. It has cinnamon, it has nutmeg and clove in there. Just search for a recipe and just make it. And you can have it on hand too and keep it in a container. I'm using a leavening agent. Baking soda is the leavening agent in here to give the cookies a little bit of puff. 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm adding 1 teaspoon of ground ginger into here as well. And then my little trick so I don't have to sift everything, I'm just using a whisk and I'm going to just blend it a little bit with my whisk to get some of those lumps out and get the other ingredients that I just added incorporated. All right, so we are good to go. Now I'm gonna add my dry ingredients into my wet, low speed here. You don't want the flour to go up and all over everybody, unless you do, and then you can. All right, so I'm gonna start incorporating this in slowly just until the dough is combined. You do not wanna overmix because then your cookies are tough. We want them to be light and flaky and delicious. Okay, so the dough's starting to come together. Before it gets too far, I'm gonna take my spatula and I'm just gonna scrape the sides again just to make sure all that butter and the egg are incorporated into this mixture here. And then I'm gonna turn it on just to incorporate the rest of the flour, and then I'm gonna show you. All right, so our dough is done and it looks beautiful, right? Nice and dark, just like a gingerbread cookie should look like. Now what I'm gonna do here is you wanna refrigerate this dough for at least an hour, so that way it's a little bit easier to shape into whatever cookie cutter shape you are going to use. So I'm gonna put this into saran wrap or cling wrap, then fold it up in a nice round disc, pop it in the refrigerator for an hour, and then I'm gonna come back, show you how to roll it out, and then we'll bake them off. All right, so our dough has been chilling for an hour, so it's easier to roll. I have my baking sheets ready, lined with my silicone baking mats, and if you've watched me before, you know I love those, but it can just be a nonstick cookie sheet, totally fine, or you can grease your cookie sheets. I have a good amount of flour, so when I roll these out, I'm good to go. I also have my cookie cutter. You can do trees, that's what Floor typically does. I'm just doing a round cutter. keeping it simple today. So what I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna cut this dough in half because I want it to be a little bit easier to roll out instead of it being a whole massive block of dough. We're looking for about an 1/8 inch thick, so you don't want them to be super thick here. I'm gonna make sure my surface is covered with flour, but not too much flour, because remember that's gonna show up on the dough at the end of it. So I'm just gonna push my extra flour to the sides that I don't need. All right, I'm gonna kind of form it into a square-ish, and then I'm gonna start rolling. If it starts to stick just like that, all you have to do is add a little bit more flour. Flour your rolling pin. Don't be afraid of this, right? We're not afraid of cookies that need to be rolled out anymore. You're just applying light pressure with your rolling pin and adding more flour as needed. And see, I'm going kind of in a square. And I just want to make sure my dough isn't sticking here. And if it is, I can add just a little bit more flour underneath to prevent it from sticking. All right, let's roll it just a little bit more to get to 1/8 of an inch. That's looking pretty good. Oops, keeps sticking over here. A little bit more flour. Perfection. All right, so then I'm gonna take my cookie cutter. If you need to dip it in flour so it doesn't stick, you can. And I wanna get as many cookies out of this as I possibly can, so I'm gonna back this up between it. So there's one cookie, and oops, I'm gonna throw my cookie cutter. And literally, I'm just gonna keep cutting all my little rounds out. And remember, you have tops and bottoms here because we're making sandwich cookies, right? So then they're gonna bake in a 350-degree oven for about 12 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes. You're looking for just a light golden brown color, a little crispness to the edge of it, then you're removing them from the oven. We're gonna let these cool completely, and then I'm gonna show you how to decorate these beauties, fill them with some frosting, and then we're good to go. But I'm gonna keep on cutting all these out. But see, isn't hard, right? You shouldn't be afraid of rolled out cookies. Hi, welcome back. So our cookies are all baked and I've let them cool completely because we don't want that frosting to melt and ooze and goose out of it. And I'm ready to now make them sandwich cookies. All right, so I have my frosting. Do not judge. This is canned frosting. You can make your own frosting. I'm going with canned because let's be serious, I kind of have a guilty pleasure for canned frosting. I don't know what it is. I can't believe I said that. Should I be saying that? Oh well, I did. I love canned frosting. It's terrible for you, I know, but it's just one of my guilty pleasures. So I'm using canned frosting for this. You're gonna use a top and a bottom. All I'm doing is taking a spatula and spreading on a good amount of icing in the middle, and then taking my cookie on top and making a nice little sandwich, right? You can make these all pretty too. You can decorate the tops. I'm keeping mine very simple. You'll see in Floor's recipe, she actually cuts her cookies into Christmas tree shapes and then she decorates them with mini M&Ms, which is super cute. I just kind of like the brown with the white balance of the icing. But that's it, that's all you do. Well, all I'm doing, and you enjoy them, and that's it. How simple is that? Congratulate yourself on making a cutout cookie with icing in the middle, and how beautiful do these look? You have to make these, give them a try, and check out our blog and check out our YouTube channel for more. Make sure you hit subscribe, and I can't wait to see how yours turn out. Take care and happy holidays. Bye.